All right, hello everyone, and today we're gonna be doing the problem 2 of the final review section. So, as always, we're gonna start by taking down the information. So, a mutual fund manager expects his portfolio to earn a rate of return of 11% per year. The beta of this portfolio is 0.8, 0.8. All right. And then if the rate of the return on the market portfolio is 14%, so the market portfolio is 14 and the risk-free rate is 4%, then is this a good idea to invest? So essentially the question that we're going to ask here is, what is our required return given these three things, the beta, the market portfolio, and the risk-free rate. And then that will determine if our portfolio return is good or bad. And the question is the required return going to be greater than the portfolio return? In which case it will be a bad investment. If the required return is less than the portfolio return, then it's a good investment. But if it's the same, then it's just an average investment and it's comparable. But we are not going to get one that is exactly equal, so we don't have to worry about that one. So in order to compute our required return, we're going to pull up our formula sheet here, and we're going to use the capital asset pricing model. So if you need to reference this, it is right here. So the first thing is our return on equity, or our expected return, is going to be equal to the risk-free rate, which is 4%, and then plus the beta, but the beta will be multiplied by the market portfolio minus the risk-free rate. And that's going to give us a required return of 12%. Now, this is higher than the portfolio's expected return. So this fund manager expects 11% return, but we have a required return of 12%. So that means that this is not a good investment and that they should invest in something else, not in this mutual fund, because they could get better returns elsewhere. And in order to do that calculation, we're going to do that now for part B. So how could you use the stock market index fund and the money market in T-bills to create a portfolio with the same risk as this manager? So we're going to see that in terms of risk, we don't need to compute any kind of risk or any of that. All we know is that the risk of this investment requires a return of 12%. So the question is, what breakdown between the market portfolio and the risk-free interest rate, like what combination of those two can give us a required return of 12%? So what we're going to do is we're going to do the market portfolio, and the risk-free, or we're going to do treasury bills. And I spelled that wrong, but it's okay. All right, actually, I think I spelled it right. Whatever. T-bills here. And T-bills are always going to be the risk-free interest rate. Treasury bills, as you remember, are it's impossible for the government to default on treasury bills. Well, I mean, unless something really tragic happened. But for this class, we don't really care about that. And the government can always print more money to fill their treasury bills, so that's why it's the equivalent. Treasury bills are equal to the risk-free rate. And then an index fund is also a market portfolio, so the S&P 500 is one of the most common market portfolios, so that's why we're able to equate these equally. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set an equation here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a box here. So we're going to put in 1, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to do this cell equals, oh, hold on, equals this cell here. And stick with me, but essentially what we're doing here is, in order to solve this problem, we are going to create a essentially a goal-seek problem where we have the market portfolio and what percent of our portfolio needs to be the market portfolio and what percent of our portfolio needs to be treasury bills in order to equal the required return of 12%. So now here at the bottom, we're going to, or here across, we're going to do this times this, and it equals this times this. So we're going to do, times this. So essentially these are weighting the two together. So we're getting that both of them. So let's say we have, in this case, let's make these percentages as well. In this case, we have 100% of the market portfolio as 100% of our portfolio as the market portfolio. We would have 14% return on that. And if we have 0% in treasury bills, we would have a weighted average of 0% or a weighted amount of the treasury bills of 0%. And then we're just going to take the sum of these two, and that'll give us our return on the market portfolio and on our treasury bills combined together. So what we need to do is we need to set some value in this box that will give us a return equal to this required return. So all we're going to do is we're going to go to data, and we're going to go to what if analysis and hit goal seek. So let's get rid of that, and let's zoom in a bit. All right, never mind, we can't. So we're going to set this cell, we're going to set this cell here. So we're going to set D11 to the value of 0.12 or 12% by changing this cell. And we're going to hit OK. And we broke it. We didn't really, but it needs to be 1 minus this cell, not the other way around. So hold on, let's redo the goal seek. Sorry about that. What if analysis goal seek? So set this cell to value 0.12 by changing this cell. Hit OK. There we go. And we get 8 or 0.8 or 80%. So in order to create a portfolio of comparable risk, and remember they're comparable risk because they have the same required or expected return. And what you're going to do in order to make a portfolio of the market portfolio and treasury bills that are equal to the risk expected by the fund, created by the fund manager, is you're going to take 80% market portfolio and you're going to take 20% treasury bills, and you're going to add them together and you're going to get that 12%. So that's how you solve these type of problems, and hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you enjoyed it and if it was helpful, and if you have any more questions, I can definitely make another video going over this, as it was kind of confusing.